Yeah, I mean, look at the Diddy case. Now, people are saying that Diddy won the case. I mean, he lost the case. He was found guilty on the prostitution charges. Now, those are the minor charges, so technically he lost, but he really won in the grand scheme of things. But the feds could say, well, that goes to our 98%. We won this as well. He was found guilty. So there's variations to this. I mean, how much time do you think Diddy's going to get?
I don't know. I don't know, to be honest. I don't think he's getting that much. But I'm fucking blown away by how that played out.
I'm not.
Really?
Yeah, there's a video of me getting interviewed on a red carpet a couple days before the verdict, and I exactly say what's going to happen. So he's going to beat the RICO, he's going to beat the sex trafficking, he'll probably get hit with a prostitution charge, and there'll be a slap on the wrist. That's what I said. It's on camera.
That's crazy.
I put it out right after the verdict came out. I'm like, here you go. I called it.
What is your take on everything?
I think that Diddy really was just not really breaking the law, from my impression. It's like he was being...
Vlad!
I mean, I think he was freaky, and I think he was definitely abusive, but a RICO, I don't think so. Sex trafficking, I don't really think so. Maybe prostitution, he might get a couple years for that, but I don't think he's going to catch a major charge. At least I don't think so.
Well, let me get the fucking lottery numbers next, because...
Well, to me, it was obvious, because, look, it's not a RICO. We all know that.
No, the whole
it's not
shit
a
was
RICO.
bullshit, but it's just... I'm just surprised that they're able to do shit like that and make it what it is, and when it falls apart, there's nothing that people can do to be like, nah, you just put me through mad shit, lied about all this, made something to be so much bigger than it is, everyone turned their backs on me, you gave me a fucking stigma, everyone thinks I'm this and that, I need some compensation for that shit. Because at worst, I did prostitution. Oh, no. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
What the fuck? Compared to what the fuck they were accusing me of?
His lawyers said that he's the only man in America in jail over hiring male prostitutes.
That's crazy.
The only person right now in jail. And I've interviewed 5 of the male prostitutes. All 5 have said they were not taken advantage of. They were not trafficked. They wanted to have sex with Cassie. I mean, one of them is suing, but I think that's just a money grab. At the end of the day, come on, you're being paid to fuck a beautiful woman. Like, it's not that bad.
Yeah, you just gotta let him watch in the corner. That's it. Like, fuck it.
That's the only weird part.
Yeah.
Right?
Just pretend he isn't there.
It's not exactly, like you're not... There's worse people you could be fucking for money. I'll just say that. But look, here's the thing, though, right? Because me and you could talk, but we don't have legal degrees, right? We're just talking. We're bootleg lawyers, basically. But Judge Mathis is somebody that's been on my show, and we talked about this. And he's a former Michigan judge, state judge, but still a judge. And he says something interesting, and that is, yes, although it's likely that he'll get a slap on the wrist, 2 years, whatever, but judges in this situation can look at everything that was brought up in the case, all the physical abuse, the beatings of women, the breaking into Cuddy's car, lighting it on fire, the constant beatings of Cassie as well as other employees and so forth. The judge could say, okay, I'm going to give him the maximum based on everything that's come out on the stand. Yes, he beat the RICO. Yes, he beat the sex trafficking. But there's enough heinous activity that's happened here that I'm going to give him the maximum.
Judges are people too, and he's going to try and compensate for the other things that they've seen, for the state crimes that he's seen. His mindset is going to be, I'm not letting him get away with the minimum. I'm giving him the maximum that'll compensate for the things I can't do. The things that he didn't, the things that the prosecutor didn't prove, but I think happened. The things that happened in state court, but the statute of limitations expired, so I can't prosecute him. So, he says 1 to 10 years, I think I'm going to give him 10.
It could happen.
What's the max that he's facing for the prostitution charges?
Let me see. Hold on a second. Let's look it up. I thought it was 10 years, but I might be wrong. Well, here's the thing. It's 10 years for every count of prostitution, so technically 20 years. He can get 20 years.
I don't think he's going to get 20 years.
I don't think so either, but there's a chance. Legal experts are saying between 4 and 5 years, potentially shorter, but it's all up to the judge. Now, you could appeal, but the thing about appeals that people don't always realize is that judges have specific powers, right? There's certain things that's up to a judge's discretion. You can't appeal that. If a judge, based on his discretion or her discretion, says this much time, you have to prove that something else went wrong along the way. But you can't just say, that's too much time, we want to appeal that. It doesn't work that way. You have to say that somewhere in the trial, the judge did something inappropriate that potentially changed the outcome of the trial. So the judge is giving him more time than he had hoped for. He's going to have to eat that.
Right.
We don't know. Well, that's how we're going to end it. 1090 Jake, man, always a pleasure. Congratulations on your Europe trip. First time you went out to Europe?
Yeah, it was dope.
Could you imagine sitting in jail at 18 years old saying, one day I'm going to have a luxurious trip to Europe with my girl and go see the Mona Lisa and go to the Eiffel Tower and just live it up?
I'm going to be honest with you. I woke up and I had a little fucking coffee cup, because that's like the thing in Italy, you make your coffee. And I sat on the porch of where I was staying in Positano, and I had this insane cliffside view. I can see the ocean, the yachts, the houses all the way up. Bro, I wanted to cry, because it's like I've looked out of cell windows. I've looked out of the slit in doors in confinement, and now this is my view. And it was just a beautiful moment, and I just felt so grateful for everything and everybody that supported me along the way, and people like yourself that have given me opportunities that just don't come. You know what I mean? And I was just taking it all in, bro. And it was just one of those very few moments in my life where I just sat back and was just blown away. It was just like, wow, I could have never imagined this 10 years ago.
Well, I didn't give you an opportunity. You earned the opportunity.
I appreciate that.
I didn't see you walking down the street and say, hey, here's a guy with a face tattoo. Let me put him in front of a camera. Right? It doesn't work that way.
And I think it was either 1 or 2 interviews ago. I think it was off camera. Me and you had a conversation about losing weight and working out and staying healthy. You know what I mean? And within the last 6 months, I'm down over 30 pounds. Personal trainer in the gym 5 days a week, busting my ass and fucking just getting to it, bro. I feel healthier. I feel better. People are saying I'm starting to look less like Bobby Hill, which is a fucking achievement. And I just feel good. You know what I mean? And I appreciate the advice that you give me. And a lot of it is behind closed doors, and people don't know that you're that type of guy. But I'm telling everybody, you're fucking solid, and I appreciate you.
Yeah, man, you should also start counting calories. That has been the best way for me to lose weight, because working out helps. You should work out. I try to work out every day myself. But I've never met anyone that's lost weight by just working out.
Right.
Everyone I know that's lost weight and has kept it off was based on their eating calorie intake.
Yup.
It's really that simple. Like, you could go into an app like MyFitnessPal, which I use pretty much every day, and it'll tell you based on your height, your weight, and so forth, how many calories you could eat a day in order to lose weight.
Yeah, they got
they
got a thing, you take the picture of the food and it tells you.
Exactly. Yeah, you can take a picture of the food,
Yeah.
you can scan the barcode if it's packaged food. It'll tell you exactly that, and you could keep eating through the day, and once you hit your limit, you stop. And you'll see the day after day, you'll start losing weight.
Right.
And if you go over that calorie count, you'll gain weight.
Right.
It's really that simple. Now, if you work out, you put that into the equation as well. So let's just say, for me, I'm about 2,000 calories, right? If I burn 500 calories in a workout, I could eat 2,500 calories that day and still lose weight. But if I eat 3,000 calories, even if I work out, I'll gain weight.
Right.
That's what it comes down to. You could work out, you could do whatever, but it really, really, really comes down to calorie intake. So if you want to keep hitting up buffets and keep ordering sundaes and all this other type of stuff, it doesn't matter how far, how long you're in the gym or how many personal trainers you have. you will keep gaining weight.
And I'm sure you know, bro, I was fucking eating food in Europe, and you don't feel, you can eat and then want to eat right after. The food over there is different. Like, you don't gain nothing. Like, just tastes so pure over there. But it was a fucking amazing trip, bro. It was awesome.
I'm glad, man. I think everyone should travel internationally because they'll give you a better perspective about where you live. Like, once you start seeing other cultures, other people, you start seeing the similarities, you also start noticing the differences.
Right.
And it gives you a better perspective and an appreciation about where you actually come home to. And, you know, you meet people that haven't, you know, and you and I both know people like this that really haven't traveled at all.
Right.
That haven't left their own cities, that are just too scared or insecure to go outside and experience new things. But at the end of the day, we're not trees. We can move around.
Yeah.
We could go to different cities. Like all these rappers who I've begged to move out of their cities who just, they're too comfortable being where they are and they end up, you know, getting killed in their own cities. All they had to do was move. All they had to do was set up shop somewhere else. And when you see all the most successful rappers, most times they have gone to live somewhere else. Boosie doesn't live in Baton Rouge, he lives in Atlanta. Lil Durk, you know, granted he got caught up in some other shit, but he was living in Chicago. He was living in Atlanta as well.
And you know who motivates the fuck out of me? That I gotta shout out, Tony Yayo. Passport Boys. You know what I mean? He was even jumping in my comments, and you know, it's just like when you get to travel and when you get to experience different things and leave the hood and leave whatever you're used to, you see how much world there is, and it just it gives you that sense of adventure you had when you were a kid, like your first time exploring the woods or an abandoned house, and you're like, oh shit, what the fuck is this? You go to another country and you get that same feeling, and then you remember how big the world is and how much shit there is to do.
And you realize how old the world is.
Yeah.
Because America is relatively new.
Yeah.
A couple hundred years old. I grew up in the West Coast. I remember when I was going to New York, I'm like, damn, Manhattan is pretty old. Wall Street, Harlem, these are structures that you don't see in California. And then you go to Europe and you're like, oh, goddamn, it's even way older here. And then you go to the Middle East and you're like, oh, shit. Now we're talking about thousands of years old.
Yeah, this is where shit started at. Fucking.
This is where shit started at. You know, I remember the first time I went to Israel and we had a tour guide. It's like, okay, you know, in the Bible, when they said that so-and-so went over here, that's that hill right there.
Yeah.
And then he went to the structure. Yeah, that's behind us right now. That's the castle that he's talking about. And you're like, oh, goddamn. This is biblical shit. Yeah. This is 2,000 years old. This is more than 2,000 years old, in fact.
Yeah.
You know, because you're talking about Jesus died 2,000 years ago. You're talking about the Old Testament. This is like 3,000 years old. So, yeah, man, it gives you better perspective. If you haven't traveled and you're watching this, it doesn't cost that much to travel. Save up, get some discount tickets, find some, you know, discount hotels, even stay in a hostel if you have to. You know, like a youth hostel where you share a room with some other students or whatever else. Make it work because you'll come back a totally better person.
Right.
Not even a different person. You'll come back as a better person. You know, and you got to experience that for the first time. I think it's dope.
Definitely.
That's what it is. 1090 Jake. Until next time. Peace.